I remember the good old days on Facebook. If you weren't in 2007 on Facebook, I was on Facebook in 2007. And guess what? I used to do farming on Facebook in 2007. I mean, back then, the features of Facebook was very limited. We used to use Facebook for socializing, meeting new friends, maybe contacting our family, and also playing backgammon and farming, etc. But I mean, Facebook, like any other platform, developed naturally, and it has become a multifunctional platform where people can log into Facebook for entertainment, for videos, for reading political posts, art, music, everything. And a lot of people also use Facebook for political reasons. They are using Facebook to organize their political events, for rallies, demonstrations, protests, political campaigns, elections, etc. I think Facebook was pretty the rules and the regulations were pretty intact, and they were pretty fair till 2005 or 2006. This is just my estimation, I could be wrong. But the turning point for Facebook was when Trump got elected. And Trump had a very, let's say, negative coverage by the mainstream media, especially that most of the Western mainstream media are owned by or controlled by the liberals, right? So they were very, let's say, aggressive in their coverage against Donald Trump, and I'm not defending Donald Trump, I'm just describing the situation, right? So Trump resorted to social media, and he was very successful on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube and other platforms because of his populist approach. And he was able to gather millions of people around him, and not only in the United States, but also outside of the United States. And he used social media as one of his weapons and tools to become a president, and he succeeded in 2016. Therefore, it was a big blow in the face of the, let's say, the liberal establishment in the West. So since then, they started to change the community standards, right, of Facebook, and they are more or less suppressing, let's say, conservative pages, and they are not only in the United States, also in the Middle East and in Asia, in anywhere where a group or a page that is publishing materials that goes against the United States national interests. And censorship has become crazy on Facebook. I myself been banned multiple times on Facebook for very silly things, sometimes by making a sarcastic post or a sarcastic comment, sometimes by telling a joke, and Facebook considers them hate speech, and you have to wait a week to log in again in Facebook, or maybe 30 days, and those things happened to me, and I was like, why are you doing that? Maybe you should give us a chance to explain ourselves. And later Facebook added that feature that you can appeal against the decision, but they come back to you for after many days, maybe after already the suspension is over, and then they hire people, for example, sometimes in Morocco and others here in Germany, and they are people who hold certain political backgrounds, and if they don't like your post, even if you appeal, they would never return back your page from suspension, right? Now in 2022, this has gone too far, in my opinion. It has gone into extent where Facebook is no more a platform where you can post your political opinion without being afraid or worried of being completely suspended. And it is happening to lots of friends. And in 2022, after the Russian attack on Ukraine, it has gone into extreme levels. Now, Facebook says it will allow praise of neo-Nazi Ukrainian battalion if it fights Russian invasion. The reversal raises questions about Facebook's blacklist-based content moderation, which critics say lack nuance and context. Facebook will temporarily allow its billions of users to praise the Azov Battalion, a Ukrainian neo-Nazi military unit previously banned from being freely discussed under the company's dangerous individuals and organizations policy. Now, personally, I don't need a confirmation from the intercept. I know myself, like, now if you post any photo of the Azov Battalion on Facebook where they are holding the neo-Nazi logo or the swastika, the Nazi flag, etc., you will be banned. Your account will be restricted. But if you glorify them in their fight against the Russian attack or the Russian invasion, that will be allowed on Facebook for a certain period of time. So Facebook is stretching its laws now in order to give the opportunity for these neo-Nazis or the people who support these neo-Nazis to glorify this murderous and terrorist group on Facebook. This was last month in February, and I was like, it can't be any worse. I mean, this is the limit, right? How can it be any worse? I mean, you tell me, do you think it could be any worse? No. I mean, this was my naive perception of things, right? Facebook can't be any worse. But yesterday, Facebook declared that no, they can be worse. And they can be more degenerate. And they can be more vile. And they can be more immoral in their so-called community standards. And I hope I'm not going to be banned now on Facebook forever for this. And I'm not really worried of that. I just have lots of friends that I want to stay in touch in all around the world on Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram to temporarily allow calls for violence against Russians. This was a title posted by Reuters yesterday. And then they changed the title and it goes by saying Facebook allows Ukraine war posts urging violence against Russian invaders. So if you dig into what Facebook is actually saying, Meta platforms will allow Facebook and Instagram users in some countries to call for violence against Russians and Russian soldiers. Guys, this is important. Against Russians, that means it could include even civilian targets, right? And Russian soldiers, because they could have said only Russian soldiers. In the context of the Ukraine invasion, according to internal emails seen by Reuters on Thursday, in a temporary change to its hate speech policy. The social media company is also temporarily allowing some posts that call for death to Russian President Vladimir Putin or Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, according to internal emails to its content moderators. So this was confirmed by Facebook yesterday. It's not only a leaked information anymore. Facebook is actually encouraging hate speech now and violence against Russians just for being Russian. They don't say just the Russian soldiers. They say Russians and Russian soldiers. This is extremely dangerous. This will accelerate the racism against the Russians, the Russophobia and violence in not only in the virtual world, it will be also in the actual world. I still remember when these shit lips on social media platforms were cheering and celebrating the suspension or the ban of Donald Trump in 2020. And back then, we and I were warning them, guys, this is not going to end up here. If you allow them to suspend a sitting president, they will be able to suspend anyone. They will come after anyone. They will ban and suppress any political activity that they think it goes against their interests. And these shitlips were saying, no, this is just a one-time thing and we should just ban Donald Trump back then. And also some of them were making excuses, or Facebook is a private company. So you should follow its community standards. If you don't like it, just leave it, right? Facebook has become the arena where people meet all around the world, billions of people. The platform for political activity has changed from the street into the virtual world. And when you own such a big platform where you give privileges to some and ban some, that means you are, the least to say, biased and not objective. And when we see how Facebook is operating nowadays, I don't see any difference between Facebook's community standards and what the CIA or the State Department is advocating for. It is no more like it is no more a private company. It is embedded with the establishment, right? And it is very sad that we have reached to a point where we cannot post memes on Facebook because we could be banned for hate speech. And Facebook allows the glorification of a neo-Nazi group, the Azov Battalion in Ukraine, and also it encourages hate speech and violence against the Russians. I am speechless. This video is not analysis. You know, I usually post analysis about current things. This is just a commentary and my opinion on Facebook and how absurd this platform has become. It has become disgusting. I am not logging in and posting any important things on Facebook anymore. I'm just there to communicate with some of my friends and post some funny videos, etc., or pictures of myself. Most of my political, let's say, posts are on Twitter or on YouTube, and these two platforms also, like, they censor. But Twitter is, in my opinion, was till the moment was fair with me, although I was under heavy reporting by people telling Twitter that I'm violating the terms and the conditions or whatever, the community standards of Twitter. But Twitter has not suspended me yet. Let's hope it stays like that. So guys, what do you think about this Facebook decision? I know a lot of people say, oh, just leave Facebook and go to other platform. What are the other platforms that can give you the same features and the same reach like Facebook? There is none, right? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. And see you next time, guys.